Studies show that 100% of everybody in the world wants to curl up indoors and do nothing because it's so darn cold out there. That's why many people are turning to Bombas, whose pillowy plush slippers and warm merino wool socks have been said to be the most comfortable in the history of feet. Bombas products have been found to boost coziness by up to 1,000,000%. Okay, enough fake statistics, but could Bombas socks and slippers really be the cure? Go to bombas.com/audio and use code AUDIO for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com and use code AUDIO.
The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
This is All Things Elite. Welcome back to All Things Elite. Load up the pod, man, it's on when we speak. Rich right here, let me warm it up for Austin and Floyd. Couldn't be no one but the boys. When it come to All Things Elite from the fan perspective, swear, man, it ain't no question. Hear from them first. Swear, man, they putting in the work. No, they had to get me for the verse. Social Suplex Network zone. Hours at a time in your headphones. Austin and Floyd on the microphone. Backing out on the ring, getting in the zone. Pulling up the show, give it 7 stars, you already know. Who else could it be but the show with the proclivity for positivity? I'm gone.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 309th episode of Social Suplex's podcast about AEW with a proclivity for positivity. Welcome to All Things Elite. My name is Austin Somewhat. I'm the host of this lovely show. Joining with me, as always, is my good buddy and friend, Mr. Floyd Johnson Jr. My man, how you doing?
Winter got me last week. Winter got me. I actually got sick last week, and so that's why there was no show. I was looking forward to doing the show last week because I was at both Collision and Dynamite, and it was fun. But, yeah, I got sick. Actually, it was funny. I was driving to Dynamite last week. That's when I started feeling sick. Mm-hmm. So while I was on there, I went and bought some drugs. I went and bought Delsum and some Dayquil, and then I bought a mask because I didn't want to get other people sick. So I can make it through the show. When I say I was praying in my brain, just hoping the FTR's match was like first or second. That way, at any point, I could leave if I needed to. I didn't feel bad. Yeah. It was like they did it where it was like third to the last, so I had to hang through the whole show. And I did. I'm glad I made it through the show. I enjoyed the show. Got to see Tommaso Ciampa debut. Great show. So I go back to the hotel room, and I basically sleep for 10 hours. Sweating, blah, blah, blah. I sleep for 10 hours. I get enough energy to drive home. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to sleep all Friday. And hopefully I feel, I told you we weren't doing the show. So then I took a bunch of drugs, and I slept all of Friday till pretty much Saturday morning and sweated it out, and I felt good enough to go to Collision. And then, it's just been like, it was like I made it, and people ask me, I was like, because it was this. I was driving to Texas when I started feeling bad. So I drove 6 hours away from home, already got a hotel. Not going to the show in my mind was not an option.
Right.
If the show was in Oklahoma City, I could just go home. I would probably just ate the price of the ticket and stayed home. But I was 6 hours away from my house in a hotel, and it was like, I'm not going to stay in this hotel and watch the show. I'm going to watch the show. So I made it. Like I said, I had a mask on. But the convenient thing is the woman behind me had a mask on too. So I didn't feel like an asshole. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Because people staring at you like you're going to die. And I honestly didn't cough or sneeze that much in the show. Shout out to Delsum and NyQuil, Dayquil. I took those both at the same time. The great thing about Delsum, and this is not an advertisement. This is just for if anybody gets sick. The next thing about Delsum is it doesn't have like fever reducer in it. So you can take it along with Dayquil. So I took the Dayquil to if I reduce any fever and whatever, and then I took the Delsum for the cough syrup. And yeah, I might have cost twice during the whole show. I made it through the whole show, made it all the way back. Well, unfortunately, I left like as soon as the main event was over. I knew there was more wrestling, but I left as soon as the main event was over, which is hilarious because I talked to my boy Grillo before then, and his match was the first match after the show. But I had to get out of there. I was like, you know what? I have enough energy to make it back to my hotel, so I went and did that. And then Collision, I went with my friend Noel, and we had a good time there. But yeah, I was sick last week, and it sucked. But
we're glad you're feeling better, though. We're glad you're feeling better. We're glad you had a good time, though, last week.
Yeah. So, yeah, I got to see Tommaso Ciampa.
That's the one thing, man. I knew it was killing you that we weren't able to do the show after that happened. So I'm glad that we get the chance to talk about it a little bit. And we're going to touch a little bit on last week's shows, specifically, just a couple big moments. And then we're also going to touch, of course, on this week's episode of AEW Dynamite. Now, before we get into everything, though, we want to make sure you guys are downloading this fine show on YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you choose to listen to us on. We appreciate the support. Give us a share with your friends, family, coworkers, who you wish. Rate, review, subscribe, turn automatic downloads on. And then make sure you follow us on Twitter. We are at ATElitePod on Twitter. You can also follow at Social Suplex. They're the reason the show exists. So we would really appreciate it if you check out all the other great podcasts they have on their network and give them some love. I am at Austin Sumowicz, SZUMOWICZ. Floyd is at Floyd Johnson Jr. on Twitter. And sign up for the Social Suplex newsletter. Link is in the description of the show. Now, the news of the week for the show, Floyd's gotten the chance to heal up and get healthy. And now, my boy, my co-host, my pal, he would like to do a victory lap. And I'm like, you go right on ahead. So Floyd would like to do a victory lap, and I can pass it off to him so he can do said victory lap.
Yes, I know we're the proclivity of positivity, but today I'm going to take a small victory lap, and I'm going to steal a line from my friend JR anytime he is right and I am wrong. I told you! I told you! I told you! MJF. I watched Dynamite last week. And, of course, I check out our Discord. I'm not always posting in it, but I read. And then I watched Dynamite last night, checked out our Discord. Watched Collision, check out our Discord. See the reviews that are coming across the world. Everybody in the wrestling world that seems to be in the agreement that Tony Khan is in his bag and AEW is on fire right now. AEW is on fire right now. Oh, my God. Now, let me talk to you. As LA Knight once said. When Hangman lost to Samoa Joe, travesty of justice. I say, I don't know, wrestling, I don't really have a problem with it. Wrestling is generally better with a heel on champion. That Shields is champion. That was not met with a lot of positive interactions with me, which I was fine with Samoa Joe. But when MJF won the title, and I was there and at the World's End, and it was great, and I was celebrating MJF winning the title, talking about MJF being the champion AEW needs, how I just love television more with the great heel champion. That's basically what I grow up on. It makes for a better television product with a great heel world champion. I got called an edgelord. Yeah, I got called an edgelord. The least edgy person that you will probably ever meet got called that. And I was like, how is me rooting for the wrestler that I want to win an edgelord? I asked that question. And they're like, we need the good guy. And I'm just like, wrestling is better with the heel champion. So that was at the end of December. Now, I feel like Dynamite over the last month has had one of its best runs of television products. All wrapped around one major storyline is that every big name in the company, so, whether it is Samoa Joe, Swerve, Hangman, Kenny Omega, Andrade, Brody King, Bandito, all want to be the world champion. But who is the world champion? The person that someone said was the best thing for AEW. That is Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF. He is our modern day Ric Flair. He makes you hate him so much. And he is so good on the mic. He is so good at everything he does. Now you have all these people that have different fan bases all cheering for him to lose, paying tickets, showing up on TV to watch this man lose. He is the champion AEW needs. And you're like, oh, it's only been a month. But dude, last week, highest Dynamite in months, ratings-wise. Highest Collision in months, ratings-wise. Who is the face of the company right now? MJF. It's not Hangman. Will Ospreay's not there. It's not Kenny Omega. It is MJF. Having a charismatic, dominant, heel champion with a whole bunch of people chasing him is what's best for professional wrestling. Period. It's the best version of it. WWE built it with Roman Reigns. Of course, the Crockett's at 80. Only time I known wrestling be really successful with a dominant face champion is like Hulk Hogan in the 80s. And like, people get tired of the good guy after he wins too much. Who doesn't care about that? MJF. He's better than you, and he knows it. And oh my God, this has been great. Because every time someone says the show is good, and every time someone says the main event picture is good, all I'm saying in my head is, I told you so. And so, yes, I am taking my victory lap. It doesn't matter what the ratings are next week, because it has, look at this main event picture. Look at what they're doing. They are keeping you interested. They are keeping you interested every week, and it's because you have a charismatic, generational heel world champion. You don't waste MJF's prime with him in the mid-card. You don't waste MJF's prime with him in random things. This is what you do with a person like MJF during their prime. You put the belt on them, and you let them carry your company. And you let the other people, Swerve, who's amazing, actually prefer Swerve as far as wrestlers, Hangman, Samoa Joe, you let them all chase, and their fans get behind them, and their fans are like, oh my God, when is my guy going to get his shot? And MJF tells you every week, they're never going to win, and they're never going to beat me. And it just makes for such great television. Shout out to Tony Khan and everyone that has anything to do with this, because I think AEW has been amazing, must-watch TV. I always have this passion for wrestling, but when it's right now, I am almost insufferable, because that's all I want to talk about. That's all I want to be involved with. AEW is on fire right now. And yeah, it feels good when you're told you're crazy, you told you're stupid, you told you don't want to hear it, you told all that, and then it's like, oh, I love this now, and I don't know why. I already told you why 2 months ago. Congratulations. Thank you for catching up, slow people, you pores. Thank you for catching up with me. I am Floyd Johnson, and I am better than you, and now you know it. Okay.
Boom. Yep. So there's the victory lap. I'm right there with you though, because I mean, like, MJF, when he's on top and he holds the title, like, he's entertaining. He connects with the audience. He's so good at what he does, and him being the top champion, it's a situation where it's just like, it allows for shit to be just so freeform and just be able to get multiple things over. And as we build up to Grand Slam Australia and everything, like, I mean, everything is just lining up to be really, really exciting. And that it starts top down, and the the World Heavyweight Championship picture is a huge part of why things are the way that it is. So like, I'm absolutely hyped about everything being presented the way that it is, and I think it just works really well, and it's just awesome. Because it's, dude, when MJF holds the belt, like, the show is just so much fun to watch, and he does such a good job as the champion. So like, I completely am on your side with everything that you're shouting out. We're gonna quickly touch up on a little things from last week that we weren't able to talk about. Now, obviously, the big thing that we were not able to give our thoughts about was the huge announcement of fucking Tommaso Ciampa is All Elite, and he accepted the open challenge for Mark Briscoe's TNT Championship and proceeded to go out and win the TNT Championship in his first match in AEW. And Tommaso Ciampa is your new TNT Champion. Bro, I didn't see anything of people expecting this to happen on like
no.
Nothing leaked, nothing came out, there was no rumors, and like I thought that he was going to show up like at some point, but I mean, like, I did not expect it to happen this quickly, and I did not expect it to happen the way that it did.
I heard New Japan. I heard that he was going to be in New Japan, that he was going to be in the New Japan Cup or something like that. That's all I heard. And I was genuinely shocked when the lights went out. And I went when the lights would go out and that popped up. I was like, it's the Psycho Killer. I screamed. I was like, through my mask screaming, it's the Psycho Killer. Because that's one of my favorite gimmick names when he's wrestling. Of course, he could not use that in WWE. I don't even blame them for changing that name. So he wasn't the Psycho Killer. And that music hits and the lights went out. And I even said, you want to talk about aura? You want to talk about, energy? He felt bigger in his entrance in AEW. It felt like we were getting the NXT World Champion Tommaso Ciampa. We weren't getting this guy that's been playing around in the main roster for a while. We got NXT Tommaso Ciampa, black and gold Tommaso Ciampa, that was feuding with Johnny Gargano in a never-ending feud. We also, I was not sure if it was his last appearance, but I do think it was. But one of his last appearances, if not his last appearance in WWE, he did an open challenge for the title and lost. His first appearance in AEW, he does an open challenge and wins. What kind of storytelling is that? His last storyline is that Ilya Dragunov was dodging him in the United States Open Challenge. And then he finally got it and he lost. And then he was off TV. And now he answers the Open Challenge in AEW and he wins. Dude, people are like, oh man, no, that's not a coincidence. If you know Tony Khan and how he books, that wasn't a coincidence, right?
Right.
Psycho Killer.
No, that was a very, very deliberate thing. That was a very deliberate thing.
Yes, I was very excited just because, again, I can't say I'm the hugest Tommaso Ciampa fan in the world, but I absolutely loved him in NXT Black and Gold. And I love that run that he had there, and especially a lot of the stuff with Gargano. Some of it was a little too long for me. I'm not gonna look at it through revisionist eras.
It peaked with NXT TakeOver New Orleans.
Yep. Now here it is, December 12th, 2025. Ilya Dragunov defeats Tommaso Ciampa in that. It was on SmackDown. That was the Open Challenge. And then his last appearance was 3 days later on SmackDown, and him and Ciampa and Gargano lost to Carmelo Hayes and Dragunov. But his last singles match in WWE was losing an open challenge. His first singles match in AEW is winning an open challenge against Mark Briscoe.
Yep.
And believe me, the match started the second half of Collision. And it was announced as a 20-minute time limit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, they're going the time limit. I was like, that's perfect. They go the time limit, build to another match. It gets to 15 minutes. I look at my friend Noah. I was like, I told you it's going the time limit. He hits the unprotected knee, and the ref counts 1, 2, and I'm waiting for Briscoe to kick out. 3, and my jaw just drops. I was like, they did it. Tommaso Ciampa won a title in his first match. Reserved only for Mercedes Moné. That's the only other person. Now, I had a thought that Okada won in his first match in AEW. He won in his first singles match in AEW. But he had a trios match with the Young Bucks before then against Eddie Kingston and somebody before his Continental match. So his first match was in a trios match. But his first singles match in AEW, he did win a title. So, again, semantics. But yeah, Tommaso Ciampa joins Mercedes Moné as the only 2 people to win a title in their first match. And he beat Mark Briscoe, someone that he pushed. But they had the tape, and they were showing the tape from the classic Briscoe and Tommaso Ciampa matches to set into this. And they had another classic match. I was going to talk to you before the show, but I'm going to talk to you. I personally have that as my match of the month. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it would be that. Maybe it would be the Kenny Omega match from this show. Maybe. But I feel like right now, no, because the Briscoe match, I think, happened last week, the last day of January.
Yes, so that's why I was like...
So, yeah, it does. It slots in right in at the end. So, yeah, I would agree with that. Yep, I would agree with that.
And a wrestler of the month, you can disagree with me, but I am going with our AEW World Champion, MJF.
I completely understand that. That's honestly a very, very fair comment, honestly.
Yeah, I was going to give it to Tommaso Ciampa too, but he only wrestled one match. I'm like, what can I do?
Yeah, I'm not going to give it to one match.
No, but he was the match of the month. I had MJF as it. And yeah, that mean, like, for me, like, the last week, Ciampa debuting, Ciampa winning the title was super shocking. But the thing I was actually more shocked about than that one was Andrade going over Swerve. What did you think about that, sir?
Yeah, I mean, I will tell you this, though. I do think that they're really trying to go another run with Andrade coming back and trying to see if they can get him back to a level, because it seems like they've really started to kind of, build up his presentation. He's now got the little Latina corner he's got with all the baddies and that he goes over by and celebrates right next to. It fits very well, and also as a heel kind of character, I mean, bro, it's the easiest thing in the world. You're surrounded by hot women, everyone hates you.
Dude, so he looks like he does. He has the women. Other than kicking people in the nuts to beat them, he's not really too much of a heel. So, no.
Oh, I get you there.
Yeah, no, but he has this energy about him. If you watch him on social media, he's saying the right things. He says AEW is his last stop. He wants to be a big star for AEW. He wants to retire in AEW. He wants to end in AEW. He's saying all the right things. Well, what have I learned in AEW? I love Andrade. But what have I learned in AEW? A lot of people say the right things as soon as they get signed initially.
Right.
It's great to be alive in Las Vegas on a Wednesday night.
I caught that.
Yeah, I went from sports entertainment and I'm brought back to professional wrestling. People are really, really good at saying what they're supposed to say at the beginning. 6 months from now, When you might not be winning at the level that you want, I want you to keep that same energy, that same Tony Khan save me energy. Please do that. So, no, I'm not getting fooled again. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not. You can work me a lot of ways, and I love to be worked. That's not one way you're going to work me anymore.
I get you.
I don't care what you say in the first 6 months. I want to hear what you say after 2 years.
Boom. But yeah, no, that was a great match to close off last week. And of course, it may have been a squash match, but the fucking shot of Rocky Romero getting V-triggered in the back of the head into oblivion was unbelievable business.
Dude. Yes. I love that. I love that moment. But there was a couple matches, that match, and then Okada versus Damian Priest. And maybe this might be me, the outlier on these. Those matches were way too fucking long. I know they don't do 2-minute squash matches. I know that's not a thing. But for Okada and Damian Priest to know clearly who's going to win, and that match goes 15 minutes, I was like, wrap this up, guys. Can I get my Rainmaker? Can we get out of here? And somebody was like, that was a good match. I'm like, it would be. If I wasn't completely checked out because I was just waiting for him to hit the Rainmaker and for the match to be over. I was like, good Lord. No, I'm sitting there I look at my brain and I was like, this match is still going. What is going on here? It even worked me to a point. I was like, are they going to do a thing where Damian Priest pulls off the upset? And I was like, well, no, it's for the title. So, or I don't know. Yeah. And then Kenny Omega and Rocky Romero. I was like, hey, get in there, V-trigger, and put him down. You got 2 minutes, okay? We got a lot of wrestling. They book a lot of stuff on the show. Last night was 7 matches. Last week was 6.
They're trying to stack Collision a lot recently, and you're seeing it too with the level of matches and people that they're putting on it, like Darby Allin getting matches and getting jumped by Gabe Kidd, and Babes of Wrath doing stuff as well, getting Timeless Tony Storm and Orange Cassidy on the show, the TNT Championship being changing hands with that. The Rascals getting a lot of their debut on Collision as well. They're putting on a lot of stuff to really set up Collision. Hey, they even gave Sisters of Sin and Babes of Wrath a tag team title match. They are, these last few weeks specifically, I'm like, okay, Collision is getting a lot more attention. Now, some stuff goes, like you said, some stuff goes a little long, but and especially considering how many matches and segments that are on the show. But I would also still say I would much rather a little bit more attention be paid to Collision as opposed to none at all.
Absolutely. Collision truly feels like the B show now. If for a while to me, it did feel like Rampage.
Yep.
And it was even on the show, it's I can't be you should be watching Collision. And now I feel like they're at the point where you should really watch Collision. You got Okada. I mean, Okada was on Collision.
Yeah.
You got the Rascals seem to be Collision exclusive right now, which is
at least for the time being.
Yeah, which is a great use for them. And, so you're getting a lot of information. I think this week, Young Bucks are on Collision. So... Yep. It's it looks like they're trying to stack Collision. We're trying to get more action on Collision, which is very good. It's just it was just a small gripe about it was and it's not every match because I don't mind long matches. It's where you clearly know who's going to win. I love those Brody King 45-second squash matches. I love that shit. I love it. And it's Okada, get in there, boom. Give him the Rainmaker. Get your business out of there. Kenny Omega V-trigger. Let's get that out of there. So, but it's timing and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't seem like they've rushed anything else. So that's probably the thing against my complaint. It doesn't seem like anything else is rushed. It seems like everything gets the amount of time that they want it to have.
Yeah. Was there anything else? I love the fact that they teased that next week specifically this week on Collision, we're going to get a parking lot brawl match. I was like, oh yeah, let's fucking go. And having Jet Speed get involved with the Don Callis family, I think is going to have some good stuff coming out of it as well. Was there anything else specifically you wanted to touch on from Collision?
I thought from Dynamite, Chris Statlander and Tekla was really good. I thought it was really good. And then Sister Sins against Willow, and wasn't to me good, but it told a good story.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, and and it was like, and I like that they just won. So we're gonna, I thought we were gonna move on, but apparently we're not moving on quite yet, because we had Mega Bad come out and attack after the Sisters of Sin lost, and it looks like Mega Bad is going after the Babes of Wrath now, which there was a match on Dynamite. But I think that's all we needed as far as our catch-up.
Yeah. No, I think that's pretty much touched on everything. So, Dynamite opened with the Death Riders versus the Don Callis family, as we had Inosuke Takeshita, El Clan, and Josh Alexander take on Jon Moxley, Pac, and Daniel Garcia. Hot, exciting trios match to open things up. And again, seeing how the Death Riders have fully become babyface. Like, Pac even did the spot with him getting tripped up by Josh Alexander for El Clan to take advantage. It's just wild to me, like, this faction that people couldn't fucking stand a year ago is now babyface, and it's just like, it's just wild to me. The spots with Moxley and Takeshita were a lot of fun. Those guys were just laying in strikes, like, throughout the whole match, it felt like. And I'm all for if they want to end up having a singles match between the two of them, because I think it would be really, really good. The cutter that El Clan got hit by Moxley was badass. Very much reminded me of Randy Orton style stuff. Takeshita got caught by Roderick Strong and got smacked straight to the chest. I mean, not Roderick Strong, sorry, Daniel Garcia. He got smacked straight to the chest, but then did the whole package pile driver thing he did, and then reverse it into a German suplex, or like not even a German suplex, more like I don't even know what to say necessarily.
It was a wheelbarrow German.
Wheelbarrow, yeah, the wheelbarrow one, yeah. It was really, really good. I will say I loved how Daniel Garcia fought back in a lot of the spots of this match. Like, still kept fighting, but eventually he's just gets beat down by all of them. And then he gets hit with Raging Fire, and that's when they gave him a lot of instances to keep on fighting for the Don Callis family. I mean, not for the Death Riders, before he eventually was like, okay, there's nothing else I can do. I got to tap. I mean, I can't kick out, basically. So I thought that was solid. Takeshita was pointing towards the Continental Championship that Moxley was holding, and again, teasing for that singles match. I'm pretty sure they eventually, announced that for Grand Slam Australia.
They did. They definitely announced it for Grand Slam Australia.
Yep, I thought so. I was starting to, it slipped my mind a little bit. But yeah, so those guys having that match for the Continental Championship in Australia is going to be a lot of fun. So I thought this was a dang good opening match, though. I thought it was pretty dang fun. And again, I will say, it was weird that also, too, beforehand, we got those Collision-style promos to open up the show where everyone talked before the show started. I was like, that was very old-school Collision. So I was a little caught off that it was on Dynamite. But I didn't mind it, though. That was the only thing I wanted to mention before that everything happened before the match itself.
Takeshita's in his bag. He's doing his thing right now. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world. If you ever check out Voices of Wrestling, FSM 50, number one wrestler, Takeshita. It's basically a list of pure in-ring talent, nothing to do with anything. Takeshita and Fletcher were 1 and 2, so Pro Ishida was 1 and 2, which was pretty cool. But in this match, it was like I saw El Clone and Josh Alexander, and then on the other side, it was like Mox, Pac, and Garcia. I commend them for the picks, because I was like, well, Garcia or El Clone is probably taking this pin, but I didn't know which one. So I had to actually pay attention to the match. I didn't have an idea of absolutely who was going to win.
Yeah.
It absolutely made sense when Takeshita did it, so he could get that moment where he pointed towards the belt to lead to Takeshita versus Jon Moxley. Great thing about Takeshita and Jon Moxley, for all of you pure wrestling people, It's Continental Classic rules. No interference, no run in. There ain't gonna be a slip on the banana peel. No music is gonna hit and distract Takeshita. It's gonna be Takeshita or Mox, the two former IWGP champions, two former international champions, going at it one-on-one, two of the best in the world, on which was basically lining up to be a network television a cable television pay-per-view, which is Grand Slam Australia, which that card is loaded.
Oh yeah, no, it's a absolutely stacked card. Absolutely stacked card. We can now move on, I think, to the first off, I thought it was cool that they had a little video package talking about Will Ospreay fighting back to when he's going to come back to TV from neck surgery. Still don't know what his timetable is, but I do love that they at least brought up Ospreay. I wonder if they also showed it for a different reason, just in terms of like maybe how there may not be a listed timetable, but maybe it's quicker than people think. Like, I don't know for sure.
Ospreay did debut at AEW Revolution, so him coming back from the injury at AEW Revolution would be pretty awesome.
It would be cool, but I don't want to speculate either about when he comes back. But we had another mixed tag team match with Timeless Tony Storm and Orange Cassidy. They took on Jordan Oasis and Brittany Brooks. Match was fine. You got to have the dancing spot again, and specifically the moment where they were talking about the hair versus hair match, and Tony was absolutely mortified about the possibility of going bald. She was just like, I don't know if this was a good idea. And she's like, if I look bald, I'll look like a boiled egg or an angry penis. I can't be bald. I'd look hideous. I'd look disgusting. And that's when Luther is like literally standing there being like, motherfucker, like,
yeah, when people
it's not that bad, dude.
People screaming bald out. I'm looking around like, hold on. I grab my head and I'm like, hold on.
You're never going to get sold on a hair versus hair match until for a single day of your life. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, it's like no. I thought Tony Storm was really good here, and it was so funny. I had this random thought and very slight tangent. I was watching Tony Storm and I was like, she's like the lady version of Goldust, because she's so good at all the character stuff, but under all the character stuff, she happens to be an amazing wrestler. And it's like, but she's so good. She's like 10 character, 10 in ring. It's like, she's like, when it comes down to it, like such a diamond. Like I even said a few months ago, I had started getting tired of her, and I think I just started taking her for granted. How good she is. I had started taking that for granted. And like that promo last night, and how she started off sad, and she's like, I'm going to shave you bald, and I'm going to make you look like Mox. I was cracking up, and I was like, oh yeah, she is great. And it was like that light bulb.
I think it's an instance where like Tony's still doing like Tony things and doing timeless things.
Yeah.
But it's very much different because she is not anywhere close to being the world title picture like she used to be. She is, and I think even fans of Tony Storm and Timeless Tony Storm can agree to the fact that like this is a like a break from the top for Tony. Like she's not like, 'cause she was on top for a while, it felt like, and it was a lot of fun. But I do think some people were getting a little tired of it. This at least allows Tony to do stuff, still be as great as she is, but it's not going to tire you out because it's not dominating the main title picture. But she's doing stuff with Orange Cassidy. They both work off each other great, and it's different, it's entertaining, and it's just another good use of both characters, I feel like.
And it's a message to the rest of the group. When you're not in the main event picture, in the title picture, you're not the most important thing on the card right now, how you can make all of your time matters. I am very, very much on Harley Cameron and how she does that.
Oh my God, exactly.
How she makes that time when she might not be the focus of something. She makes that time count. Tony Storm and Orange Cassidy right now, working with Willa Yuta and Rena Shafir, they're making the most of their moments, even though they might not be in the main event picture right now. So it's just like, as a fan, we notice. We notice when you whenever the screen is on you and you're putting in effort. We 100% notice that every time. And we also notice when it looks like you don't care. And right now, they both are all the way in this.
Oh, big time. Big time. And it's very much commendable and everything like that. There was a brawl with Darby Allin showing up in Vegas, and then Clark Connors and Gabe Kidd went after him, threw him into a production truck, and he got hit with a tire, and then they threw him into the truck of a car and then ran away. God knows where the fuck he went. Hopefully we find out maybe possibly on Collision where Darby went and what exactly happened to my boy, because I don't want him to all of a sudden turn up dead next week on Dynamite, because the dude just got jumped. I
did have a problem with this. This is one of my thing that I have a problem with. And I posted a tweet about this. Darby needs a friend.
Feels like it, doesn't it?
It just seems so fucking redundant. Like, he go up against the Death Riders, they leave him for dead, and he come back. It feels like they're doing the same thing, but with the War Dogs now. Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors. It's like he's massively underrated. And it's supposed to make me feel like, oh, God, I want him. He's an underdog, and I want him to overcome. No, I just need you to stop being stupid and taking on challenges of 2-1. Now, at some point, It's like, hey, I'm going to keep throwing myself into this brick wall. I'm not going to be mad at the brick wall. I'm going to get mad at you for throwing yourself in front of the brick wall. So right now, where I am with Darby is like, dude, find a fucking friend.
Well, his one-man friend of Sting is not here no more.
Yeah, you got to find someone that's not 67 years old and retired. There's somebody on the goddamn roster that needs some TV time that will fucking fight along with you. God dang it. I was like, dress the Dark Order up in spooky paint. I don't care. He needs somebody having his back. If this dude just gets his ass kicked and gone, it's the same cycle of him getting his ass kicked.
Pretty much. I mean, yeah. But also, and again, too, we just clearly know this. Babyfaces don't have friends.
Dude, that's one of my catchphrases. And I'm like, dude, find a friend. If it's got to be Sting's son or whoever it is, find a friend.
Yep. We then went to Hangman Adam Page taking on Mark Davis of the Don Callis family. So, again, another instance of a guy from the title picture that are trying to go after MJF's world title, going up against members of the Don Callis family to try to make their claim for the AEW World Championship #1 contendership. And it was a physical battle, two guys that could strike really well. I think it was just establishing why he's going to be one of the main guys that are challenging Andrade for the #1 contendership, and just building up Hangman. Specifically in terms of spots that I loved, I did love the moment where Hangman gets thrown into the ropes, bounces back off, and lariats Mark Davis. The springboard over the top rope to try to set up for the powerbomb, but then getting sat on by Mark Davis was also a really good move. I enjoyed that counter. And then when he avoided being thrown into the corner and getting crushed by Mark Davis the second time, and boy, did Mark Davis take a shot to the knee, it felt like, when he ran into the barricade, and then proceeded to get brought up and Urihara moonsaulted by Hangman. But a good moment where Mark Davis was able to show off his power, doing a lariat of his own, giving him a little bit of an inside-out bump. But then Tombstone, a great reversal to set up the Tombstone pile driver on the stage that looked fucking vicious. And then Mark Davis rolls into the ring. That sets up for the buckshot lariat. Great setup there, and he gets the victory. And then he gets onto a mic to address Kenny, Andrade, MJF, basically everyone. Basically, he says, "I will stomp every future child out of your tiny little balls and win back the world championship that I never should have lost." if he wins the match to set up his eventual title shot with MJF if he wins. So that was a damn fucking line. And it was a damn solid match. I wasn't blown away, but I thought it was really, really well done.
Dude, this is what Mark Davis is. It's like, he was in a tag team with Kyle Fletcher, so people get lost on him, how good he was. But he was one half of one of the better tag teams in the world and with Aussie Open. So when you're in one of the better tag teams in the world, that generally means you're a good wrestler. And then in one moment, him and Jake something looked like everybody wanted to just put the title on them. Mark Davis was a part of that too. You know what I mean? So this man has shown many times he can wrestle. And then he puts on this match, and it was like, everybody's like, okay, good that they kept him on TV. Good that they kept him on TV. And he's like, he made some people some believers to last night, because the dude is just a really good, solid professional wrestler. And if you need a hoss, it was great. This was a perfect match for Hangman. He showed just enough of a threat to keep you interested in the match. They did just enough in the match to keep you interested, even though you knew the winner was clear. They managed to go ahead and keep you excited. And I thought this match was really fun. If probably this week, if I was going to watch a match again from Dynamite, it would probably be this one.
All right, there you go. That's a pretty good praising of that. Honestly, it's a pretty good praising of the match. I feel like Kevin Knight got a little bit of a video, and then they go into Andrade El Idolo going one-on-one with Kenny Omega. Now, this is the match I think I probably would watch back from this show. Like, this match, I enjoyed. I thought this was really, really well done. I thought, again, another fucking convincing win for Andrade. Again, tripping up another moment where he gets to steal one against both guys. So, like, he steals a win against Swerve last week. He steals a win against Kenny Omega this week. But he looks good in it, too. That's the thing. Like, it was through heel tactics, but, again, it sets it up to be very exciting for Grand Slam. I thought, again, the dive to the outside where then he proceeds to pose with his hot Latinas was amazing. But he was doing everything he could to just absolutely lay out Kenny Omega. But the moment where...
After the holidays, there's so much to clean up and get ready for the coming year. This leaves me exhausted and a lot of things falling off my to-do list. It's time to lock in, and Omaha Steaks delivers everything you crave to reset after the holidays. An order from them means having high-quality Omaha Steaks on hand at all times. I'm a big meat lover myself, and I always go with medium rare. But there's also plenty of poultry and other options available. Omaha Steaks offers unrivaled quality and variety, and every bite is backed by their 100% guarantee. A family-owned company with over 100 years of expertise in the meat industry. Let Omaha Steaks deliver high-quality proteins right to your door. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their end-of-season sale. And for an extra $35 off, use promo code YUM at checkout. That's OMAHA steaks.com, promo code YUM. Terms apply. See site for details. Go to www.omahasteaks.com to get 50% off site-wide during their end-of-season sale. And use promo code YUM at checkout for an extra $35 off. Minimum purchase may apply. Thanks to Omaha Steaks for sponsoring us.
Studies show that 100% of everybody in the world wants to curl up indoors and do nothing because it's so darn cold out there. That's why many people are turning to Bombas, whose pillowy plush slippers and warm merino wool socks have been said to be the most comfortable in the history of feet. Bombas products have been found to boost coziness by up to 1,000,000%. Okay, enough fake statistics, but could Bombas socks and slippers really be the cure? Go to bombas.com/audio and use code AUDIO for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com and use code AUDIO.
Andrade gets thrown into the corner and gets V-triggered in the corner, starts setting it up, but then the back elbow, dude, where he misses the kick and then lays a back elbow on Kenny. Dear God. Like, the sell on that from both guys was unreal. And then eventually he gets help where Andrade gets help because of Don Callis throwing in the screwdriver. Swerve grabs it, though, being able to take it out of his hands while the referee is distracted. The ref then tries to deal with Swerve. Andrade then gets out of the one-winged angel and hits a low blow. Then the DM is hit. He gets the pinfall. So he's going to face Hangman for the shot at the AEW World Championship at Revolution at Grand Slam Australia. And then gets into an argument with Omega and Swerve. There's a shoving match. Security steps in. And you just know Kenny's not going to stand by and just be like, oh, I'm just going to do nothing for Grand Slam. No, there could be an instance in this regard. And again, if this leads to me getting Kenny Omega versus Swerve Strickland at any point, I will be eating. Because I want that very badly. No, this was good. Like, it ended in a screw job finish or whatever, and with the low blow and the use of the screwdriver being thrown in there and everything like that. So it wasn't a cut and dry thing, but I thought it was really, really well done.
All right. So Andrade, this is the most I've enjoyed him since when he was with Zelina in Black and Gold NXT.
Right.
I truly just think, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it was having to sit out a few months, going back to the other company, seeing the grass isn't always greener, or what it was. He seems invigorated. He seems like he just loves this again. Like, and I'm not saying he never loved it. It was just like, it's just the energy coming through in each of the matches. Like, let's go. And of course, you're wrestling against Kenny Omega. Again, best wrestler, one of the best wrestlers ever. That's definitely going to do something for you. But you putting him in these matches, he's going in, he's being hard hitting, he's being physical, he's being explosive. Kenny Omega looks like Kenny Omega again. And, and it's just like, this match was great, fun. I thought Omega was going over. So when they was trying to do the screwdriver thing and Swerve came out and then the nut shot, I was like, oh my God, they're going with Andrade. And now it's like Andrade versus Hangman, I think I know who's going to win, but they seem to be going really behind Andrade right now. And honestly, the way Andrade's performing, if you got a company and he can work for you, put that damn belt on him. I mean, dude just seems like he's on fire right now. And it's just like, yeah, let's ride this till the wheels all off. I'd be down for an MJF versus Andrade match at Revolution. Let's go. This dude just seems like he wants it. He is just, whatever fire that might have been tamed is back. And he's wrestling in AEW and New Japan, and he's just like he's showing up everywhere. So yeah, I thought this match was great. I like the physicality of Hangman and Mark better because they were just like, it was too hot.
For sure. It was much more cut and dry too.
Yeah, it was much more physical match. But this match was fun. And I would love to see this in a full form pay-per-view match, like 40 minutes pay-per-view match. What they can do, this match not only left me satisfied, but it also left me wanting more, which is crazy when you say it like that. And then Swerve coming out and that stare down between Kenny, and it's like, oh, Kenny, no. The most dangerous man in AEW is not a moniker. It's a fact.
It's a fact. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, so. Yeah, so yeah. I don't know if you want that smoke, but I want to see it. I want to see that fire. I don't know if you want that smoke, but I want to see that fire.
Oh, I will tell you right now, Kenny. For the rest of us, I want you to have that smoke.
Yes.
But we then had Chris Statlander basically. Goes and says, hey, Thekla is going to get a rematch for the World Championship next week. It's a stipulation of my choosing. And she's like, you're not going to get the answer tonight. She has to wait until Saturday to find out what it's going to be. And then we get into the Women's World title.
I go at Stat a lot. I think she found the charisma button.
You think so in this promo?
Yes. It wasn't bad. And I think most of her stuff is bad, so I will take average all day. But she hit her with the line, you better hope the cosmic killer is just a catchphrase. I was feeling that. I was feeling it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whoever working with her. Maybe she worked with her. Maybe she looked in the mirror. Maybe she listened to her promos and was like, that's not how I sound. And, and went in there and fixed it. I don't know what happened, but I saw marked improvement in this promo. And so if I'm going to come at you when you suck, when you show improvement, I, as a fan, as a person, I got to call it out. And I thought there was clear improvement on that promo last night.
Yeah, and I think there's instances where she gets better. I think she was kind of up and down for a while, but I do think in that instance, I do think this was a better promo for her, for sure. We then move on to the Tag Team Championship Eliminator match for the Women's World Tag Team titles. The Mega Bad Megasis and Penelope Ford facing the Babes of Wrath. And, so they set up, and it's an Eliminator match. And they won the Eliminator match to set up for a future title shot. And I thought this was better than the match that we got, I will say, at Collision. I think this one was a little bit better. And again, too, I think it's just because Megan Bayne got that size, got that dangerousness about her, and it's very clear how much she's setting herself up as like one of the key pieces in the women's division. They're pushing her like crazy. And I think her being in this made it feel bigger too, just in that regard. I thought the match was pretty entertaining. The moment where the Hurricane Rana from Megan Bayne on Willow was a great spot. Everyone gets in. We get the whole avalanche you get the avalanche superplex, and then Penelope Ford gets up top and then proceeds to clear out the other two with the blockbuster, and then hit the bow down on the Babes of Wrath. Harley, unfortunately, has to be the one to take the pin. I understand, but, sad face. And Megan Bayne pins her, and now they get a future AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship shot.
Shout out. I love this. Mega Bad. I love their gear. And of course I love the finishers, the Doomsday Device. But I thought this match was really fun. I do think, I don't know why, it was like, it just felt like in the match, how it was booked, it was telegraphed who was going to win. Like,
oh yeah,
a few minutes in, I was like, oh, Megan Bad's winning this match. And they did, and it's, I like the name Mega Bad. I just think it's awesome. And yeah, fucking Megan Bayne, man. I like, if there was going to be a female member of the Don Callis family, she has to be it. I just give this woman the world. I just like, she just, presence. She has that presence, like 24/7. Just, she steps in the room and you're staring at her like, what's going on? Who's she about to murder? And yeah, it's this match went great. I'm like, me, I'm rocking my Babes of Wrath shirt, and I'm like excited for it. But then, Penelope, and then she walks through, and it's even funny because Penelope being with her makes her look so much larger.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, just her standing next to her makes her look larger. So Penelope is a visual accessory for the Megasis, you know what I mean? So
I get,
yeah, it's like, sometimes to see how so large someone is, you need someone that's kind of a normal height, because Penelope's normal height for a woman, and then you got the Megasis coming out there. So I thought this was a solid match, and it definitely got us set up for their tag team title shot at Grand Slam Australia.
Yes. We then had the fact that Tommaso Ciampa is going to continue the TNT Championship Open Challenge that Mark Briscoe had. I love that he called the title Sylvie after having the previous championships he held be called Goldie.
Yes.
Having Sylvie. Amazing. I love that he's keeping it going, and it just, it fits so well. I can't wait to see who Ciampa defends the belt against moving forward. And then we have Jack Perry, after beating Anthony Bowens to get his shot in Collision, has a national championship match against Ricochet.
Oh, Ricochet caused a little controversy before we start on this match this week. Did you read up on that? Or did you see what was going on?
I know he's the kind of guy that loves to talk shit on Twitter.
No, he was just talking about his time in WWE and talking about how he kind of lost his love for wrestling and he felt like his time in the WWE main roster was like the blip from Thanos that, you know, he got disappeared and then he came back alive in AEW. And this, I mean, I'm not going to say a lot because I don't have a lot read. His experience in WWE is his experience.
Yep.
As an adult that has had a lot of jobs, the current job I work for is probably my favorite job I've ever had. I've had a lot of people come through the same job, working the same position as I am, and fucking hate working here.
Yeah.
And it's just like everybody has their own point of view on it. That Ricochet gave his point of view. And he didn't make you pay for an autobiography to find it out. He just gave it online. And you got people telling him he doesn't feel that way, that it wasn't like that. It's just like, it does not matter what you think. This grown-ass man is just giving you his point of view of his time working at WWE. If you don't like it, keep scrolling, deleting it, but there's nothing to argue about because you weren't fucking there.
Yeah, I'm not going to be the guy that be like, nah, the way you feel about your career is wrong.
Yeah, and that's what it was. It's a lot of people, and they didn't even realize how fucking insane it was. I'm not defending Ricochet because he works for AEW. I'm not defending Ricochet because he said bad shit about WWE. Ricochet just has a right to his point of view. Right, wrong, or indifferent. Unless you were there experiencing it with him or he was using you as a confidant and he was telling you how much he just loved WWE and wanted to be there and you know that he's lying, those are the only type of people know what he wants. But his wife is getting on there co-signing that that's how he felt about everything. Now, the whole legacy argument about it ruining people's legacy, who am I to speak on that? You know what I mean? Like, some people that want their legacy is that they made a shit ton of money in wrestling. Some people's legacy wants to be that they main evented WrestleMania. Some people's legacy is just that they're able to take care of their family. Legacy is decided by the individual. So when he spoke on other people's legacy, I didn't necessarily agree with that. But again, that's his opinion.
Yeah. And honestly, he can feel the way about his career that he wants because it's his career.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, getting into the actual match, Jack Perry jumped out the gate, tried to jump Ricochet as he came to the ring, shoved him off the stage, and then proceeded to dive to the outside. He was getting some damage on Ricochet early on. He flew and did a slide to the outside. It's honestly a wild move where he tries to go and like baseball slide into Ricochet, but gets caught and then just like almost wheelbarrowed over the top over the announced. Wild to me though was how when Ricochet looked like he was going to get hit with a tornado DDT, but Ricochet catches him and flips him over into a multiplex suplex or whatnot, and just like throws Jungle Boy around, keeps him locked up, and then does a suplex to the outside on the apron. And they're talking about how strong he is and everything like that. And I'm like, dude, you know the guy they're talking about weighs 70 pounds, right? Like the guy that he's throwing around is about like I think he'll get a little bit more weight if his hair keeps getting wet. But like outside of that, the dude is like 95 pounds. I'm just saying. But Ricochet looked like he was in trouble, looked like he might have lost the belt because he was caught in the snapmare. He was caught in the snare trap, sorry. Gates of Agony came out, looked like they were going to go and get involved. They start distracting the referee so that Ricochet doesn't tap out and then pulls him towards the ropes. Flips off Jack Perry straight. Oh, man. I don't know if it was Bishop Khan or who it was, but whoever got the chance to just throw the middle bird right in the face of Jack Perry, you were living my dream right there. But then, as Gates of Agony are there, gave the assist, that's when the Young Bucks sneak up from behind and have a steel chair, start laying out some damage and take out Gates of Agony. But that's when, while the referee is distracted, his national championship is held on the second rope. Jack Perry gets thrown face first into it. and then he gets hit with the vertigo, and that gives the defense, and he retains the national championship against Jack Perry through shenanigans, through some cheating. It was a good match. I thought it was a really good match. All smarm aside, all jokes aside, thought it was a good match. A good defense for Ricochet of the national championship. It's cool seeing the Bucks try to get the assist, but just it was too much of a distraction situation, and they were able to go and
the Young Bucks
help Ricochet get the win.
The Young Bucks failed their friends again. Just remember that's the highlight. The Young Bucks failed their friends again. They tried.
Maybe their friends should get some muscle mass.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, Jungle Boy, JB. No, Ricochet is, again, he does, like, I even say this, fans can feel certain things. There's a lot of shit we don't know about wrestling. I will say that. You could feel the Grand Canyon with that, what I don't know, because I've never done it. But you can kind of tell when people are enjoying themselves. And you look at Ricochet, and you think about the time. He just seems like that love is there, that invigoration is there. I'm not saying that, again, not saying that because he's in AEW. He just looks like he's having fun doing what he's doing. I remember I told, did a one with Randy Orton. I went to this card dealer thing, and it was just like, he was doing the Matt Riddle thing. And I'm like, man, you just look like you're having fun. That was what I told him. And it's just like with certain people, you know, you can just like, you see them in different aspects. You just look like you're enjoying yourself. And Ricochet looks like he's enjoying himself. This match was great. Again, you can say what you want about Jack Perry. In between those ropes, dude knows how to do what he do. You know what I mean? And he's willing to allow himself to get thrown around, is allowing himself to do whatever to be where he is. Now, I'm going to say this. I mean, you lost to Ricochet. You had your title shot. I'm just going to say it, Jungle Boy. Y'all used to be pillars together. How about you help Darby out? I'm just saying.
I mean, but at the same time, too, remember he threw him in a coffin, though, at All In.
Yeah, your boy. And see, Darby's like one of those people that almost will respect you for beating the shit out of him. You know? He's kind of weird. I'm just saying. Darby might need some backup. You kind of done with this Ricochet thing. The dinosaur is down. Go help Darby. Go help him. It's
God,
okay.
Do you realize how much that's going to just completely have my morals thrown into a box and shaked around?
Yeah, and honestly, that is an unintended benefit of this. Because you won't know what to do because you were rooting for Darby, rooting against Jack Perry. That'd be pretty funny.
Yeah, I'd be just like, oh my God, I'm just trapped. I don't know what to do. I'm trapped.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you. Hey, just remember this. I have 2 CMFTR shirts.
I'm aware, dude. I'm aware.
I've been where
as well.
I've been where you've been, sir.
I have 2 as well. We end up finding out that Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors took Darby Allin and drove him all the way into the desert of Vegas and proceeded to have where he was in the car. They were dragging a body bag along the desert road. And then all of a sudden he's like, you said you were easy to find. They unzip the body bag and he's in there taped up. And he's like, see you in hell, bruv. I'm checked in 2 doors down. They cut the rope from the car to the body bag and they drive away. And he's just coming out of the body bag, taped up, looking bruised and battered in the middle of the desert by himself. So who knows if Darby found his way home? Who truly knows?
Maybe Tony Hawk could give him a ride.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Something, man. Someone needs to save this man. And then finally, AEW World Championship Eliminator match between Brody King and MJF.
Man, I was buckled down. I was like, oh, this is about to be a 20-minute banger. Like, for real.
You were so wrong. We were so wrong.
I was sitting there. I was like, okay, I'm on the phone with JR. And I was like, okay, this is right before 9 with the overrun. This is 9 Central Time. I was like, okay, they're gonna give us a solid 20. Let's go. Hangman's music hits. And you can tell the rest, sir.
Yep. Hangman distracts MJF. He's screaming at him. He turns his back to Brody King. He doesn't realize that he's there. He gets choked up and hung over the side.
Can you believe he stole that Can you believe he stole that from Gunther?
Crazy, man.
God, yeah.
Crazy.
No one had ever done that until Gunther did it.
Never ever done it before. Hangman then proceeded to set him up for a buckshot lariat. MJF low blowed him, basically. Actually, sorry, no, that was after the fact. MJF then gets dropped. He throws him back into the ring. Cannonball in the corner. Gonzo ball. Gonzo bomb. 1, 2, 3. Brody King has beat MJF in like less than a minute. He now has a world championship shot at AEW Grand Slam Australia. And that's when Andrade came in and attacked Brody King from behind. And then he comes in and hits a DDT on MJF, but then gets hit by a buckshot lariat from Hangman Page. Hangman Page then goes to try to hit MJF with one. He gets low blowed by MJF. Brody comes back up, another Gonzo bomb on MJF, and then he poses with the World Championship to close off AEW Dynamite in Vegas. It was a squash.
So this is what's funny. Brody King had been squashing people in those extra matches, standby matches. And MJF says MJF says in the promo, you haven't beat anybody. You're not going to beat me like that. I'm not one of these people that you can beat like that. He then beats him the exact same way he's beating everybody else in front of him, which is hilarious, and he loses. And it's like, oh my God. So, kayfabe-wise, you know, if Brody King catches him with the sleeper, he catches him with the cannonball and hits the Gonzo bomb, he's going to be your new champ. Don't be shocked if you see that spot where those three moves are damn near put together and MJF does something at Australia. Because they gave that to you. They gave you those squash matches to set up this match. This is all was set up for this. And it was so beautifully done. Big bully Brody King attacking MJF from behind. Fuck Ice chants going on before the match.
That shit went viral, dude.
Yeah.
That shit went viral, and I was so happy. Like, Bryce Remsburg let it run. They didn't censor it, dude. TK was back there like, I will take the fines from the FCC for this. Go ahead and say it uncut, uncensored. Like, go for it. I was like, that's what I'm fucking talking about, boys. And that comes after, I think Brody King announced that the money that they raised for the Minnesota Immigrants' Rights and Activism Fund that they were doing with the drawn image of him wearing the Abolish ICE t-shirt and the chain that he put on t-shirts and comic books. Yeah, they raised almost $59,000 for the organization, which is fucking awesome.
Yes, and I asked that, and now shout out to Brody King. Whatever your political position, not being able to, being able to stand up for yourself and being put in a position in a company where you can say what you feel and it not be held against you. I think that's pretty cool. Second of all,
we all know Ava couldn't do that for a very long time.
Exactly. She said it. She quit and then
she got free, and that was the first thing she said.
So obviously there was some kind of thing not to say anything about it. And then MJF. Our wrestler, our guy. Who else is taking a 3-move squash match? Who else is doing that as the world champion? This is your king, okay? MJF is what you need right now. He might not what you like. You might not like it. But you better learn to love it because he's the best thing going today. Woo! That's the old Ric Flair line if you didn't know that. More
MJF merch will be flying to Floyd's house very, very soon.
He's
stacking up stuff.
Dude, I'm about to go spend the $1,200 on the scarf soon. I'm like, no,
the real one, not the fake one.
That was a complete joke. I would never spend that much on a piece of clothing. It must be a belt for that to happen. But no, I thought this was perfectly done because Bob and Weave. If you saw this coming, if you saw a 3-move squash coming, just quit watching wrestling.
Shot.
No, just quit. Quit watching wrestling. What's the point? You know everything, obviously. Because I listen to podcasts. I'm friends with some of the smartest people in this pro wrestling thing that kind of see everything coming. I'm in part of the Discord where we speculate on everything. I didn't see one person say this is about to be a squash match. Not one. Now, so if you are that much of a Nostradamus that you saw this coming and it was like all the signs that were there, great. You should probably just quit watching wrestling because you're just too smart for all of us.
Honestly.
Okay? You knew he was fighting himself in Fight Club. You knew he couldn't see people in Sixth Sense. You just know everything. Congratulations. Quit watching wrestling.
Honestly.
No, but I just came out of nowhere. It was so cool.
Yeah, that, though, was AEW Dynamite from Las Vegas. We got a couple other things we're going to touch on real quickly before we close things up. Of course, for Collision, we've got a TNT Championship three-way match between Tommaso Ciampa, Roderick Strong, and Claudio Castagnoli. Hey, Ring of Honor fans, y'all are eating. Y'all are fucking eating with this shit. Like, oh my goodness. You're also going to get Gates of Agony taking on the Young Bucks, with the winners moving on to a three-way tag team number one contenders match taking place on Dynamite next week. Then the parking lot fight. So we get Eddie Kingston, Ortiz, and the Rascals facing Big Bill, Brian Keith, and grizzled young veterans. And, of course, we're going to hear from the AEW Women's World Champion, Chris Statlander. Thekla is also going to be in action. And we're going to get Mina Shirakawa versus Viva Van. And then we're also getting a mixed tag team match between Skyflight with, Dante Martin and Zeta Steel taking on Wheeler Yuta and Marina Shafir, the Death Riders. And then that is what we got announced for Collision this week.
It's going to be a solid show. It was recorded on Wednesday. So It is a recorded show. So if you want to avoid spoilers, make sure you mute hashtag or AEW Collision or whatever to avoid spoilers.
Oh, and lastly, too, Kevin Knight will be facing Scorpio Sky. That's the last thing I missed.
Yeah.
And then for Grand Slam Australia, the matches that we have MJF versus Brody King for the world title, Babes of Wrath versus Mega Bad for the women's tag team titles, and Hangman Adam Page versus Lita Lowe, a championship match at Revolution, and then Jon Moxley versus Konosuke Takeshita for the Continental Championship.
Yes.
It's going to be a really, really good show.
It's going to be a really good show. It's on a Saturday night. It's the week after the Super Bowl, so no football. Look, get your popcorn ready. Get it good and buttery. Sit down with your family and watch that match. It's going to be great. All right. Well, this got basically, I think it got delayed a week. I'm not quite sure on the timing of it, but the voting closed on the AEW Awards, and here are the announced winners of the 2025 AEW Awards. And again, the guy got sick, so this is all coming a week after I had. Breakout Star with 36.9% of the vote. Harley Cameron barely edges out Jet Speed.
My girl. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all listen to your hosts. I appreciate you.
All right. Best Gear, kind of a running away. Almost double the next person. Shout out to Mercedes Moné with 32% of the vote. ROH MVP was between two people. Bandito and Athena. Bandito got 52% of the vote and pulled it off. Feud of the Year with 47% of the vote, Jon Moxley and Hangman Page. They barely edged out Tony Storm and Mariah May. Best on Mic, 38.5% of the vote goes to your current, reigning, defending, undisputed AEW World Champion, MJF. Who was second? Hangman Page was second, which is shocking because I can't Don't like him on the mic at all. Faction of the year, Don Callis family ran away with it. I mean, they got so many members. The Don Callis family probably just voted for themselves, and that's how they won. AEW show of the year goes to All In Texas. That was an amazing show. What was second?
Was it Revolution?
Double or Nothing. I thought Revolution, yeah, but Double or Nothing was second. AEW moment of the year was Hangman beating Jon Moxley for the AEW Men's World title.
Yep.
Yeah. Tag match of the year was, of course, which I thought was one of my matches of the year. Absolutely. Young Bucks versus Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland from AEW All In Texas. And yes, it was just a great match. FTR and Bandito finished second, so I'll take that. Well, tied for second with FTR versus Brodito, and then Brodito versus Okada and Takeshita was the other second place winner. Men's match of the year, which was way close. We got a lot of votes in this one. But Jon Moxley versus Hangman Page won the match of the year from All In. What was it? Ospreay and Hangman from Double or Nothing came in second, and Ospreay and Fletcher came in third. But Hangman was in the top two. Shout out to Hangman, Shout
out.
Women's match of the year, Runaway. Absolutely one of the best women's matches I've ever seen. Toni Storm versus Mariah with a Hollywood ending at AEW Revolution. And just to let you know, the second place was also a Toni Storm match versus Mercedes Moné at All In. Tag team of the year, including trios. It goes to the Young Bucks. Neither one of us are happy about that. With 33.8% of the vote. Brodito was at 27, and then FTR was at 23, but the Young Bucks were your tag team of the year. Women's Wrestler of the Year, I thought it would be closer, but it was pretty much a runaway. The Women's Wrestler of the Year is Timeless. Timeless Toni Storm, and a perfect kick to my dick. The Men's Wrestler of the Year was Hangman Adam Page. I didn't even want to read that. I almost made you read it.
I was going to say, you poor man. You poor man.
I almost made you read it. I literally almost said, okay, you got to read that shit. Hangman Adam Page won Men's Wrestler of the Year. Thank you for everyone that took time out to vote. I said on it, and I'm a man of my word. The winner gets 2 lower level tickets to any AEW show he wants to go to. Doesn't have to be in your area. Just whatever show you want to go to, I'll get you 2 lower level tickets. And it's not going to be like, I'm going to get you the worst lower level tickets. We're going to talk. We're going to discuss. We're going to get you a good set of lower level tickets. And the winner of that honor goes to alexputnam1@gmail.com.
Let's go, Alex.
Let's go, Alex. I've already reached out to him. So make sure you are checking your email and reply to me. And whenever a show's near you, if there's not a show already announced, we'll get you tickets to the show so you can enjoy yourself. So thank you all that voted. I was going to come up with like a better prize pack, but it was like trying to get all this stuff together. I just got distracted, so I just went with the same prize as last year. But we'll be doing more stuff like that through the year. But that was thank you for all that voted in your 2025 AEW awards. I'm already compiling the 2026 list as we go.
Big time. We only have a couple more headlines to touch on real quick before we close out the show. So Floyd, do you want to touch on it?
Apparently, more wrestlers are coming. That AEW is looking to expand their roster. It looks like more women's wrestlers were specifically said from Fightful specifically said women's wrestlers are coming, but I wouldn't be shocked if we get some more men and everything. It looks like they are really increasing and getting the staff. And then AEW and NFL announced partnerships. So on draft night, on shopaew.com, you're going to be able to go buy a lucha mask, an AEW lucha mask for all 32 NFL teams. Tony Khan says this is a partnership he's been trying to make happen. and he's happy to make it happen. So if you want a lucha mask with your favorite team on it, make sure you order it the night of the draft. I will be getting my Kansas City Chiefs mask.
Detroit Lions, baby.
Detroit Lions. I would wear a mask if I was a Detroit fan too.
Jackass.
Last but not least, I want to send a shout out to AJ Styles. He had what was described as a career match against Gunther at the Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. He lost. He got choked out. And at the end, he looked like he was about to take his gloves off, and then he was put them back on, and then he left. And he was on Stephanie McMahon's show today, and he said the reason he did that, he's like, I think in wrestling, he's like, who knows how I'll feel? And I think in wrestling, you're at least allowed to come back from retirement once. So I thought that was a very unique answer. But the message is from his kids and his wife, and you know how big of a family man AJ Styles is. I mean, again, I'm not personal friends with him, but that is one constant thing you hear about AJ Styles and his family man. I don't think he's wrestling for a while. I've heard a lot of speculation he might come to AEW. I say this, AJ Styles, probably 5 in my top 5 wrestlers of all time as far as my favorite. I was super big in the TNA, super big in the Impact. I was there when he wrestled John Cena at Royal Rumble, which I thought was one of his best WWE matches. Super big AJ Styles fan. So if he comes to AEW, great. If he decides to call it a career, I respect that too. It'd be cool if he showed up in AEW. There's a lot of dream matches out there. But you know what? He's ran a good race. You know, he had a great career. Yeah. Seth Rollins said today that he basically doesn't exist without AJ Styles because AJ Styles created the style that Seth Rollins. If you talk about Bullet Club leaders, you can't talk about the Bullet Club and what it became without talking about AJ Styles. You talk about the origins of TNA greatness, you can't talk about it without AJ Styles. He has had his hand and his talent in so much part of wrestling. And I would love if somehow he comes to AEW. But if he doesn't, shout out to him. I don't think he has anything else to prove. I don't think he has anything else to do. If he wants to spend the time with his family and everything, I am definitely behind that. Support that as a person that doesn't know him, but just as a human. When sometimes, you know, when your race is over, you know, you call it. You know, you go out on your own terms. So shout out to AJ Styles. Your career was truly phenomenal. Do you have anything to say about AJ, sir?
Yeah, I mean, AJ for sure was like one of my faves, especially for a while. And I mean, he was one of the, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of, because over the years I've been fortunate enough to meet a shitload of wrestlers and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure AJ Styles was the first wrestler I ever met. Yeah, man. I mean, AJ Styles, he's probably one of, I would say top 8 at a minimum, I think, in terms of guys that I respect and love. I've been fortunate enough over my now, we're coming up on 15 years, I think, of being a wrestling fan, I think, possibly. I think in that time frame that I've been a fan of wrestling, AJ Styles, I've had the chance to meet so many wrestlers over the years. AJ Styles, I'm pretty sure, was the first wrestler I ever met. And randomly, of all things, it was at the Detroit Auto Show. And he was the only wrestler there doing a meet and greet at the auto show. The line was out the fucking door for the goddamn thing. It was a complete madhouse. My meet and greet was kind of quick, and it was just like as a meet and greet for the most part, because I was like, oh, could you personalize it, sign it to Austin? The lady that was there was like, oh, no personalizations, and he's like, yeah, sorry, bud. And I'm like, you're good. And we took the picture, and I moved on my merry way. Told him he was awesome. It was my first ever meet and greet with a wrestler ever. Like I said, super short, super professional in that regard, like that. But it was very cool to have that be like my legit first one ever, because AJ's unbelievable. His work speaks for itself. It's just truly, it's crazy to think of a guy that's been wrestling for as long as he has is now wrapped up. I'm very glad that I got my my match with Punk before he called it. It was nice to see that. The flashback that someone did of their match at Ring of Honor like nearly brought me to tears. Yeah, no, I mean AJ's awesome. If he does come to AEW, I will be very excited to see what that entails for however long that might entail. But also, I'm not going to be out here being like, oh, he's for sure coming. But regardless of what he chooses to do, I still appreciate AJ for everything that he's done in wrestling. The dude is awesome. And also I appreciate AJ. If nothing else, if AJ is truly done with wrestling, done with wrestling, I would love for AJ Styles to continue to go on the Chugs route and go and be a video game streamer again. Only so I can get streams of AJ Styles playing games online with other wrestlers, and if he loses, he will break controllers. Because that man is a hothead when it comes to video games. Broken over video games. Oh, it's so funny. It is so funny. So if he wants to go and be a streamer like Chugs, like I would be right there with him if he does that full time.
Yeah, I had never listened to Stephanie Megan's podcast, so that should tell you the true love I have for AJ. I listened to it all, and let me just tell you, I mean, money talks, everything talks. He sounded done. He sounded done. He sounded very resolute with his career. Now, again, that dude could show up somewhere tomorrow. And I don't know, because I don't know him from Adam. We've never had a personal conversation. Very professional meet and greets. I met him outside in Nashville once, and I met him in San Antonio where I got the actual picture. But no, I have no read on that human. He's going to do what he does. But in this show, if somebody's like, what did that man that you don't know sound like? I'm like, he sounds done. He sounds good with his career being over. Mm-hmm. I could very much be wrong because, I don't know him, but that's what it sounded like to me. But, yeah, that's all I got, sir. This is a little bit of a longer show, but,
Yeah, just a little bit, but it was still a fun one. And we thank you guys sincerely for taking part and listening to All Things Elite every single week. Again, sorry for us being gone last week. We're glad our boy Floyd is feeling good, and we can't wait for when we get to talk about AEW Grand Slam, not in the next episode, but the episode after that, for sure. We're going to talk about AEW Grand Slam Australia. But, guys, if you enjoy the podcast, we would appreciate if you showcase your support. Like, share, subscribe, rate, review, subscribe, and share us around with your friends, family, coworkers, whoever you wish. Whether you listen to us on YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you're finding this show, we appreciate the support, and we would appreciate if you give us a share. You can follow us on Twitter at ATElitePod, at Social Suplex. Make this show run the way that it does. So support those guys at Social Suplex. We love being a part of the network. We love those guys. So give them some love. I am at Austin Sumowicz, SZUMOWICZ. Floyd is at Floyd Johnson Jr. on Twitter. Sign up for the Social Suplex newsletter. Super Bowl predictions real quick. I have the Seattle Seahawks winning it. Sam Darnold exercising his ghost demons for being a New York Jet and watching his career die, and then proceeding to revive it in Minnesota, and then reviving it even more so in Seattle. So that's my pick. Seattle will win the Super Bowl. Bad Bunny will be amazing, and all the pissed off white people can cry about not knowing the lyrics and having to use Google Translate. I will pass it off to my buddy Floyd so he can take us home on this episode of All Things Elite.
Yes, my prediction is Seattle's going to be on the Patriot 3-yard line, and all they're going to need to do is run the ball in the score, and then they're going to throw a pass and throw an interception.
No, this time Kenneth Walker is going to be the man that... No, Kenneth Walker is going to be the one that does it as opposed to when they didn't give it to Marshawn Lynch.
I am going with the Patriots. Why am I going with the Patriots? Everybody's unhappy when the Patriots win, so go Patriots. And since my team
once again,
can't
win...
What?
They're your new Chiefs. Yeah. As a case, they were the pre-Chiefs.
Yes. So as in a world where my Chiefs can't be the Super Bowl champion, I don't want anyone to be happy, and no one is happy when the Patriots win.
And you wonder why people hate you and your team.
Yeah. So to everybody, thank you for all listening. Make sure you're listening all the shows on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. We are looking forward to another year of covering AEW with a proclivity for positivity. And yeah, hopefully that's my only MJF victory lap for you. No, just kidding. No, I think that was it. That was one and done. But thank you all for listening, putting up with both of us. They had a one that they had a question. They was like, who's the silly one of the show and who takes it more serious? I mean, I'm probably the silly one and Austin probably takes it more serious. But honestly, both of us play around with that role a lot, and I love that he supports me on that, and he makes this show sound professional, even though when I'm not being very professional. So with that, I would like to wish everyone happy year as we go forward. We're in February. All your resolutions suck. Now you can restart them again. Make sure you get a gift for your significant other for Valentine's Day. And last but not least, I want to wish my wife a very, very happy birthday. She turns a certain age on February 8th, and we are going to have a great time. Thank her for being a part of my life. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to know that the best day of my life happened 9 months roughly after I was born. To that, I will leave you how I always leave you. Whether it is home, work, or school, always do your best to be elite.